What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color and to another episode of This Week in Physical Media, the show where we talk about every new Blu-ray and 4K release that's coming out this week. We're going to be talking about July 23rd. That's tomorrow, Tuesday, July 23rd. All of these titles are coming out, and we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about. Actually, I'll take that back. Not a lot, but some good stuff to talk about. And we'll have maybe a little bit of time at the end to do some Q&A and talk about movies. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We shoot this show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I always have a good time talking to the live audience. So if you are watching this on the recording after, feel free to come join us next week. Because we always have a great time talking about movies, talking about anything to do with collecting or physical media in general. And it's always a blast. And we've already got quite a sizable group here in the live chat. So let me go ahead and give some shout outs over here. Real quick though, let me go ahead and put the live chat here so I can put the questions up on the screen, because I always like to do that so that you can see what I'm reacting to if you're coming in later. And I kind of forgot to do that before the show started. Just takes a couple seconds to copy the link over here. Live chat overlay, boom, bang. And there we go, we're good. All right, lots of people in the chat already. Griff, Doris, Jeffrey popping in, Kyle Hartman popping in. FilmWatcher96 says, hey, welcome to the stream. Internet user. Baloney is here. Says, I'd like to recommend to everyone to purchase at least 2 blind buys during each Barnes & Noble sale. I would second that recommendation. I get a lot of blind buys during these sales, and Criterion has a pretty good batting average. I would say most, if not all of them, most of the blind buys from Criterion have been good for me. There's only been a couple here and there that I wasn't fans of, but most of the time, it's a pretty safe bet. Dan's Den is popping in. Ethan Edwards is here. Sam Fett. Josh Knoll, kind of bummed I'm not heading to San Diego for the start of San Diego Comic-Con, but I get to be here for this, so that's good. Oh, well, I'm glad to be a great consolation prize, but that's a bummer, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you were planning on going, or if you're just saying you're bummed that you're not there. Yeah, traveling has been insane this week. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to have a guest on this show tonight. My good buddy Connor, who's been on the channel many times. You guys are familiar with him if you've been around here for a while. He was supposed to come visit me this weekend, and he got stranded in the middle of nowhere because all the flights got canceled, and he did not make it here, which is a huge bummer. And I hate that we missed out, because he hasn't been here in a couple of years. It was a long time coming, and I was really looking forward to making some videos with him and hanging out with him and doing some Criterion shopping with him, but it kind of fell apart thanks to the whole madness that's going on with the airlines right now. So that's a bummer. He's not here tonight. Just going to be me, but we're at least going to cover all the new releases and talk about some good movies. Mark's Movie Menu is here. Hey, I don't recognize that name. Welcome to the stream. Michael Smith is here. So many people here. I'm not going to be able to run through all these, but let's go ahead, see if there's anything else I need to say. All right, good. Looks like we're good. Let's go ahead and jump into the new releases, and then I'll talk to you guys as we go. Over here, like I said, not a huge list of things to get through this week, but some big ones. We've got some Criterion fan favorites to talk about. We've got some 4K upgrades of some classics and some sequels to some classics, and lots of other stuff. Some new releases from 2024 already coming out to physical media. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one. This is the big one. A lot of people excited about Risky Business getting a 4K release from Criterion. Kind of an unusual pick for Criterion. I don't think a lot of us were expecting this. Maybe the people that studied the rumor mill like a hawk knew this was coming. I had no idea. And I'm not super interested. This doesn't really appeal to me very much, but I know a lot of people are excited about it. 1983, Risky Business getting a 4K Blu-ray combo pack from Criterion, and it has 2 cuts. It includes the director's cut and the single cut, and the theatrical cut on 4K. So that's pretty cool. I did notice on the Criterion site that they are doing a 4K combo pack with 4K and Blu-ray. They've been sticking to that for a while now. Pretty much all their 4K releases have been coming out with a Blu-ray as well, but they only have a Blu-ray by itself. There's no DVD release for this as of right now, which is pretty crazy. I don't know how long they've been doing that, but they've been doing DVD releases forever, so that's kind of a big deal. So 4K Blu-ray and just a plain Blu-ray are your 2 options there. Some good supplements, audio commentaries. I'm pretty sure most of those are older supplements, but there are a couple new ones there, new interviews and new conversations. So that's pretty exciting. And not only do we get one brand new Criterion release this week, but we got another one as well, and it is Farewell, My Concubine from 1993. So 1983, 1993. This is, I'm actually not very familiar with this one, but I think it's kind of a period piece drama with a little bit of romance in there. It also has music listed as a genre and war. So it's got a little bit of everything. But here we go. This looks great. Lots of, wow, very striking imagery on this one. I'd like to be a little bit more familiar with this. I know that a lot of people are excited about this one. My good friend John, who I've done a couple Criterion hauls with, he is very excited about both of these releases, and he's going to be picking these up this month, or trying to anyway, if he can find them. I'm probably going to go back out to Criterion. Yeah, I'm going to go to the headquarters. No, I'm going to go back out to Barnes & Noble later this week with him and see if we can find him a couple copies of these. I already just went to a Barnes & Noble over the weekend with Grace, and we shot another video, so I should have that edited and up soon. We were going to go out, like I said, with Connor, but since that fell through, me and Grace did go out to a brand new store, and we found lots of new things. You can actually see the giant stack of Criterions behind me over there in the corner. All that is stuff we've just bought this month. Very excited to get all that up on the shelf and to watch through all of that. But Farewell, My Concubine is getting a 4K and Blu-ray combo pack as well, and also a standard Blu-ray release if you are excited about that one. So you should be able to find that at your local Barnes & Noble. They should get a few in, at least. Sometimes they don't get that many new ones in. But if you run out quick, tomorrow morning, maybe you'll be able to find one. And we're also getting another classic film here, The Lady from Shanghai, getting a 4K release. From Sony Pictures, just a 4K, no digital, no Blu-ray, no DVD or anything like that, but it is a 4K upgrade from Sony Pictures, who is known for doing really good restorations. There we go, Rita Hayworth, Orson Welles. This obviously directed by Orson Welles. We do have right now the Blu-ray release of this from Mill Creek Entertainment, but it'll be really nice to get that upgraded to the 4K. I need to get more Orson Welles in the collection. I don't have that much of his filmography, but very, very cool that we're getting a 4K upgrade of this one coming to, I guess you might be able to find that at stores near you. I'm probably gonna have to buy that online. I don't think anywhere near me is gonna carry that. We don't have Best Buy anymore. My Target doesn't get anything. I highly doubt my Walmarts would get that either. So might be online shopping for that one, but those are some look at that, right out the gate, 3 solid releases. And then I'll do one more here because we do have a new release, which like I mentioned in the beginning in the intro. We've got The Fall Guy, which is a 2024 movie, one that I actually saw. I never see new movies in the theater, but I saw this one. It was okay. We got a 4K Blu-ray combo pack coming out for The Fall Guy. Just a standard release. Doesn't look like there's a slipcover on there. Is there? Oh, there is. There is a slipcover. But it does include an extended cut with two versions of the movie, one of them being the extended cut, which is interesting. I don't know what an extended cut of that would look like, because it was kind of just like extended stunt scenes the whole movie. So maybe they have more of that to show? I'm not sure. But we've got a few different versions of it coming out this week as well. Of course, we've got the Blu-ray version, just the standard Blu-ray without the 4K disc. And then we've also got a 4K Steelbook. This is a Walmart exclusive Steelbook. Look at that. There we go. It's kind of that funky looking Steelbook that Walmart's been putting out a few of lately that looks a little different, but I like the poster. It's kind of like a throwback to a retro painted poster style, which is kind of cool. You get 4K HD, Blu-ray, and digital code. All 3 formats for this one. And it's going to be at your local Walmart. You're going to have to go to Walmart, actually leave your house to find that one. So there we go. 3 different versions of The Fall Guy coming out this week as well. So pretty big week. New and old, lots of stuff coming out. Let me see what people are saying in the live stream here. Let me try to get back where I was so I don't forget anything. I'll just jump in right here. If I miss your question, go ahead and throw it in. Real quick, let me plug in my phone because I just got a notification. How unprofessional of me. My phone is about to die. That would be, I don't actually know what would happen. I guess the stream would just cut off. That would be very unfortunate. Let's take care of that first thing. Clinically abrasive. So happy Tom Cruise is finally in the collection. Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited about that one. Jesse Warren, what is your thought on Criterion 4Ks that are oversized? I was thinking about getting Lost Highway, but the 4K is a little taller. Interesting. Are you talking about because I think Lost Highway is a digipack, which they usually do for all of the David Lynch releases. Yeah, I'm okay with that, honestly. I don't need them all to be uniform. I actually prefer digipacks. I like the extra little care that goes into the artwork and the packaging and stuff. So I'm not really worried or concerned about them all being the same size, because there's a lot of box sets too that are very different sizes. So that's not too big of a concern. The only time where size is really an issue on my shelf is if, I guess, what am I thinking of? Like maybe Indicator or Arrow with all their limited editions. They look really nice next to each other on the shelf, the big box sets. And it's kind of annoying sometimes when they're like all the same size and then one of them for some reason decides to jump up. But I don't usually keep things next to each other based on size. I usually keep them next to each other based on color. That's my whole thing. So it's not usually a big deal. Dan's Den says Risky Business holds up. Okay, cool. Michael Smith wasn't going to get Risky Business, but sometimes you got to say, what the F? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'll pick it up or not, but if you feel like you gotta, go ahead and do it. Eddie's Films and Stuff. What's going on? DJ picked up 2 Criterions today. Destry Rides Again. Excellent movie. I love Destry Rides Again. Hope you enjoy it. And Perfect Days 4K. I haven't picked up Perfect Days yet, but the store we went to over the weekend had a whole stack of them, like 10 of them that they had just gotten in. I had too much stuff in my hand, though, that I had not seen at other stores, so I had to grab those. I'm sure I'll be able to find Perfect Days at pretty much any store at this point. Looking forward to getting Risky Business as well, says Eddie. And then Clinically Abrasive is very excited about my Farewell My Concubine. Internet user, haven't seen my Farewell My Concubine in about 4 years. I'm due for a rewatch. That's what's great about these boutique labels and all these physical media releases, is it's a perfect excuse to rewatch stuff. That's what I love about it. All right, let me get back to some new releases, and then I'll talk to you guys in the chat. Well, you guys are doing amazing in the chat. Thank you so much for all of the comments. You guys are great. I'll try to get to as many as I can, as always, but it's flying fast, and they do get lost in the shuffle. If you do want to give a super chat of any value, that'll give me a big green box so that I can for sure mention your comment and give you a good answer on that. Jaws 3 is coming out. Jaws 3 4K and Blu-ray combo pack. This is a controversial one, I've heard. The scuttlebutt on the internet is people are mad about the AI upscaling, not even just upscaling, like AI like creation, like generation in this Jaws 3 remake. I've heard both sides. I've heard like people mad about it, that it's even happening. I've heard some people being like, you're never going to see it. It's so zoom. You have to like zoom in and pause in order to see it. So I don't know. I haven't actually watched the movie. I've never seen Jaws 3, but it is cool that it's getting a release, and it's really cool that it's getting a 3D Blu-ray as well included in that. This is the standard release. You just got a standard 4K case with both discs in there, and that's going to run you about $30 right now on Amazon. And then we've got several versions of this, including a Steelbook, which we'll get to. Let's do that first. Let's look at the Steelbook next. Like the artwork on this one. Well, actually, no, I don't like the artwork on this one. This one's weird. I think the original poster looks better. This looks super weird. This looks like it was AI generated. But there's a limited edition Steelbook with all 3 formats that you can get as also. That's going to be $10 more, though. $40 on Amazon. Steelbooks are crazy these days. The difference between Steelbooks and standard releases. So we've got Jaws 3. I know that's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. Some people say it might not be worth it, but Daisuke just did like a retrospective on all the Jaws films over on his channel, and I know he loves those movies. And then we'll jump into the second one here. We've got Jaws the Revenge, also getting a release. Same exact deal. You got the standard 4K case with the Blu-ray and digital code included. And there's that original poster art that I like a lot more. It's weird that the standard releases kind of have better artwork than the Steelbooks. And then we've also got a Steelbook for that one. Yes, we do. It's down here. This is like the same artwork that's on 3, kind of the same style with the mouth there. That looks kind of like a paper mache mouth with like tissue paper teeth. I don't know if that's like a reference to anything in the movie, but it looks interesting. There's the Steelbook on that. It's kind of cool that they match and they go together. They look like a set. And then we've also got a combo pack that includes both Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge, which is right here. And that's what the artwork looks like on that one. That one does have a slipcover, which wasn't showing on the other 2. So that's nice. This one also does include Jaws 2. So this is all of the sequels, 2, 3, and the Revenge in one nice little slim slipcover, which I like. I think that looks pretty cool. Artwork on the front's a little generic, I guess, but having them all in one pack is kind of cool. You're going to get Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and Jaws the Revenge in 4K Blu-ray and digital HD. All 3 movies in all 3 formats, which is nice. It's nice that they put the care into that. But no Steelbook for all 3. It looks like you're either going to get the slipcover with all 3, or you're going to get Steelbooks for the individuals, kind of similar to what they're doing with the Rocky franchise. So that's cool. I like that they're staying consistent with those. Would have been cool to get kind of like a deluxe Universal Essentials collection set for those. Those are awesome. I haven't seen them put out any more of those lately. I got a couple of them when they put out that initial first and second wave, but I haven't seen any since then, which is kind of a bummer. But hopefully they do more of those soon. It'll be obviously ideal to get the first Jaws movie in that format, not these 3. And then what else have we got here? We've got another DC movie coming out. These are straight to DVD these days. We've got Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. Jeez, I missed Part 1 and 2. But that is a Steelbook that you can get that includes 4K and digital. I have never really kept up with these DC animated movies, but I know they have a big following. So that's cool that they're giving those a Steelbook treatment. And then we've also got Anselm. What is this? This must be a Janus Contemporaries release. Yes. So here we go. We got a film by Wim Wenders. Dude is cranking out movies lately. He's putting out so many movies. I didn't even know this one was happening. Obviously, we just talked about Perfect Days earlier in the stream. But yeah, another one coming out from him. Let me double check Criterion.com while I have it open and make sure this isn't a Criterion. Yes, this is not Criterion Collection proper. This is actually Janus Contemporaries. And so it's going to be a little bit less on the supplement side. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, though, for you. It'll be $30, but $15 if you find it at a Barnes & Noble. So that's coming out tomorrow as well. So 3 things to look for when you go to Barnes & Noble tomorrow on Blues Day Tuesday. Very exciting. I did not know he had already put out another movie. Did he put 2 movies out in 2023? That's crazy. We'll do one more. I kind of want to get through these quickly so we can talk after, but I'll do one more here, and then I'll talk to the chat a little bit here. We've got the Crippled Masters coming from Film Masters, another label that I have not started collecting yet, but I've heard a little bit about it. We've talked about it here on the show several times. Let me know, anyone in the chat, if you've picked up any Film Masters releases. They always say Film Masters Special Edition on these. They're usually pretty good restorations from pretty old prints. They advertise right there, newly restored from original 35mm archival print right on the front, which is kind of cool. Also kind of clunky. But look at this, Crippled Masters. This looks amazing, and it stars Frankie Shum and Jackie Kahn. Have not heard of this one. I think Film Masters is pretty well known for putting out super obscure movies, but it's a 1979 martial arts action film. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of this one, but that looks like a lot of fun. Let's jump to the chat, see what people are saying. I'm sure they got a lot to say about Jaws and all of those other movies we just talked about. Johnny Sachs. I almost said Johnny Snacks. Johnny Sachs, I love Jaws 3. Well, good. I hope you can find a copy of the 4K. Dan's Den says Michael Caine has a great story about doing Jaws the Revenge. I'm not going to do this in a Michael Caine voice. I have never seen it, but by all accounts, it is terrible. However, I have seen the house that it built, and it is terrific. Okay? Posty, the original plan for Jaws 3 was to make it a spoof directed by Joe Dante called Jaws 3 People Zero. What could have been? That actually sounds pretty funny. Evil Wax, I don't think Spielberg was involved in any of the sequels. Kevin House, I just watched Perfect Days a couple days ago after bringing it home from the library. Koji Yakusho is so great in that film. I still gotta watch it. Hopefully, John will pick up a copy, and then I can borrow his copy. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and pick it up. Just blind buy it, like someone said at the beginning of the stream. Let's see. The chat just jumped up, so let me try to find where we just were. Evil Wax. Wim Wenders movies usually look fantastic. Is this the case for Perfect Days? I don't know. I'm going to have to defer to the live chat on this one. Film Watcher 96. To be honest, I want to get the Watchmen Chapter 1 movie. I'm currently reading the comic. I love it. Oh, interesting. I didn't even know they were doing that one. Sammy Boy, just a random thought. With spooky season coming up, and the next film releasing later this year, I feel like they should have put Nosferatu in the collection. I would buy Nosferatu in a heartbeat if they put that in the collection. I still need to get my hands on the Kino Lorber release. Kino Lorber has a nice release of that, but it's a little bit old at this point. I would love a new restoration, if it's even possible at this point. Love that movie, and that's one that I would absolutely love to watch this year for spooky season. And by the way, great jumping off point there. Let me know, guys, if there are any Criterion releases that you think are great October watches, spooky season watches around Halloween time, because I might want to pick up a few of those before the sale stops, because then by the next sale, it'll be November, it'll be past October. So I'd like to go ahead and grab some this month, if there are any. I'm thinking about maybe getting Onibaba. I think I might want to get Cat People, especially because the producer is getting a couple films released later on this year in the collection. So let me know. That's my question to you guys in the chat. Griff, Filmmasters does most, if not all, public domain titles. Okay, that's why they are so obscure. That makes perfect sense. But it is still cool that they're doing hopefully nice restorations. I haven't seen any of them, but I hope they're doing a good job, even though they are public domain. Bailey Walsh just popped in. Welcome to the stream. Eva Wax just watched Wall-E on 4K Criterion, and it looks stunning. I also really liked that release. I watched that with the kids a few months back now. Let's go ahead and swing back to the second screen and see what else we got coming out. A few more things. We've got Arcadian, another 2024 new film joining the collection. This is RLJ Entertainment. They put out a lot of new releases that are, much more lower budget, low profile films. We talk about them on here quite a bit. And look at this, Nicolas Cage. He is still just doing anything. Arcadian, equal measures of terror and suspense. This is like an action thriller looking movie. Yeah, action horror thriller starring Nicolas Cage in kind of an apocalyptic future. Have not heard of that one, but good on RLJ for putting out those lower budget movies. We've also got MVD putting out some things this week as well. This is the Linguini incident. Linguini! Oh, I gotta watch Ratatouille again. Look at this. Look at this cover. Oh, wow. This has got David Bowie in it. I'm becoming a huge David Bowie fan all of a sudden. All of a sudden. I started watching The Man Who Fell to Earth, and he's great in that. And then I watched Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and he's incredible in that movie. Love that movie. And then we also just recently watched Last Temptation of Christ, and he's got a little, kind of a little cameo in that as Pontius Pilate, but he's good in that too. He's a great actor. I never knew. I didn't grow up with Labyrinth or any of his films that you can grow up with as a kid. None of those ones I just mentioned are kids' movies. But yeah, I'm catching up on David Bowie later in life. This is the Linguini Incident Director's Cut, filmed by Richard Shepard. Very cool. Another one that's not on my radar at all, but MVD does good work, puts out very nice releases. Usually with slipcovers, but I can't tell from that image if it has one or not. But it's got two different cuts. That's a 1991 crime comedy. That's a good combination you don't see very often. That's fun. Then we've got Untouched from 1954 from Powerhouse Films, or Indicator, whichever. You can never tell what the parent company is there. It's very confusing. But look at this. Indicator. I love Indicator's releases. Their artwork looks so cool. They have such a good mix of classic looking artwork, vintage looking artwork, but also fits, somehow all of their artwork kind of fits into the same style. It's crazy. I don't know if they have the same artists that do all of it or kind of a pool of artists, but their stuff always looks great. I'm always tempted to get Indicator. If there's like a Kino Lorber release, but also an Indicator release, I'll go for the Indicator, even though it is like a B or region B. I'll go for it because they got such good supplements and they do such good releases. They usually have booklets for their limited edition runs, and their artwork just looks great. I've not heard of this movie, but Untouched, starring Ricardo Montalban. Interesting. They also put out crazy stuff that I've never heard of from Indicator. Sometimes they'll put out like really prestigious stuff, and sometimes they'll put out, they have a huge wide spectrum, kind of similar to Kino Lorber. But this is a 1954 adventure thriller. Well, I actually want to read about this one because I don't know what this is, but it might appeal to me. With the purpose of using barbasco roots in the production of cortisone, a pharmaceutical company sends a scientist to investigate the possibilities of exploitation in Veracruz. But the man gets lost in the jungle and lives a strange romantic adventure in a remote location called Paradise. What a vague synopsis. That tells me nothing, but I'm kind of intrigued. Not familiar with the director, I don't think, but I like adventure movies. I've been tossing around the idea of doing Adventure Through November again this year. possibly moving it to September so I can do Noirvember in November. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a theme month again where I watch a bunch of adventure movies because I've got a bunch back there that I got to catch up on. So that one might make the list. It's only $25 right now on Amazon. Very cool. We've also got the story of G.I. Joe from Ignite Films, which is definitely the first time we've ever mentioned them on this show. Not familiar with Ignite, but this is a 1945 biopic, a war biopic. There's the slipcover on that one. Interesting. I don't know anything about Ignite. Are they a new label? Maybe so. But there it is. That's what this. Yep, they are. Look, this is spy number 2. Wow, we're right on the cutting edge here on this channel. Spy number 2 from Ignite Films, the story of G.I. Joe. Not something that's jumps out at me immediately. War biopics are not usually my thing, but I'm always excited to find out about a new label, and that's pretty cool. 1945. I wonder if Spy Number 1, I don't think I've heard about what Spy Number 1 is. The Strangers, Chapter 1, 4K, and Blu-ray and digital combo pack. This is crazy that this is so far down the list. People are not excited about this. I did not hear any good things about this in the theater. I heard it was pretty bad, but at least it's getting a release, which is cool. I mean, we kind of have to celebrate any physical media release these days because it's not a given that you will get it. But Strangers Chapter 1 is getting a release with all 3 formats. Let me know if anybody's excited about that one. I'm sure there's someone who's liked that movie. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Talk to you guys for just a second here. Dance Dan, Acadian sounds like another one of those Nick Cage needs money films, but it's supposedly not bad. See, I thought we were past the Nick Cage needs money era. I thought he was kind of having a new renaissance lately, but it seems like he's still paying off those collection agencies. Posty the Innocent is an excellent spooky Criterion. Don't Look Now is an excellent horror movie, especially for the fall. Don't Look Now, maybe so. I think The Innocents I already have. Maybe not. I think that's the title of the one I'm thinking of, but maybe not. Thank you for the recommendations, though, Posty. Brian Hadsel, The Hunger, is a great David Bowie vampire movie. Cool. Is that in the collection, or are you just saying because we were talking about David Bowie, I guess? Baloney, for October, I Married a Witch, and Carnival of Souls. Both excellent movies. I've seen both. I have both already in the collection back there, but they're both great. And those are some, at least I Married a Witch is fun because it's like a lighter comedy. Rom-com or kind of screwball comedy instead of your standard October fare. But Carnival of Souls is awesome. I love Carnival of Souls. So atmospheric. Dan's Den, I haven't seen the Linguini Incident, but that title is one of the ultimate. What the hell? Yeah, it's a catchy title. I like it. I don't know anything about the movie. Michael Smith, Montalban was Khan and the main guy in Fantasy Island. Oh, thank you for the trivia facts there. Dan's Den, Untouched is a Mexican film with less than 100 votes on IMDb. Wow. Yeah, they go for those. They've been doing a lot of obscure Mexican titles lately, especially with kind of their luchador films they've been putting out and the horror stuff they've been doing. They've been putting out some horror box sets. Indicator's killing it. And that's an area of film that I know almost next to nothing about, so I should probably try some of those releases. And that one sounded fun to me. Joshua Andrews' Cure is without a doubt my pick for an October Criterion pick. Love Kiyoshi Kurosawa so much, and Koji Yakusho is incredible as always. Yeah, I remember when that came out. Last year, was it? It was pretty recent. I never got around to it. That's not usually what I go for in October. I usually go for like more kind of fun, spooky like genre stuff, but I've heard nothing but great things about Cure. I probably should grab that one at some point, if not this month. What else are people saying here? Kevin House, the story of G.I. Joe is very good and focuses on the real-life war correspondent Ernie Pyle. That's cool. I'm glad someone has seen that one and knew what that movie was. That's pretty cool. Evil Wax, does anyone know if there is a There Will Be Blood 4K release on the horizon? I don't know, but I'm sure someone in the chat will probably know. They're pretty informed. Josh L., what was your last physical media purchase from Best Buy? Mine was the Pumpkinhead Steelbook. That steel is fire. Dude, I don't even know. It was so long before. It's been so long. Like, my Best Buy stopped carrying physical media like way before all Best Buys did. So it's been probably like a year. Like, they remodeled my Best Buys early, and then everyone else caught up. So I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. I can't even tell you. All right, let's blow through the rest of these, and then we can talk about some more movies here in the chat. If you guys want to talk Criterion, if you want to talk about the sale a little bit longer, we've just got a few days left in the sale, unfortunately, but we can talk about whatever you want. But I'm going to finish up these releases here. Confessions of a Serial Killer from 1985 is getting a director's cut release from Unearthed Films. This is obviously a horror movie. Horror thriller crime. Looks kind of like a Hannibal Lecter ripoff kind of thing. I guess it can't be because it came out before that, 1985. But look at that. If you're into serial killer movies, Unearthed Films is the label for you. And they're putting out the classic 1985 Confessions of a Serial Killer. I actually have no idea what the reception is on that one. But there you go. That's coming out. You've also got the Double Crossers from Eureka Entertainment. Eureka Entertainment is doubling down, tripling down on their Asian cinema lately. They've been putting out tons and tons of Asian cinema, both martial arts and non-martial arts, like crime stuff. This looks like just an action crime thriller. There's the cover on that one. They have been giving other labels a run for their money in the Asian department because Eureka is killing it lately. This is one movie, got two different cuts. A 1976, I believe it's Chinese action film. So there you go. Check out your Eureka Entertainment. I remember I got my email from them a couple days ago that was coming out. And here it is already. It's unfortunate how low that is on the list. I have these ranked or sorted by popularity, and it's a shame that Indicator and the Eureka are so far down the list. Import your movies, guys. I know it's a little bit more expensive. I have a box here that I just got from Radiance Films, which is another UK label. They put out great stuff. I'm so excited to dig into that. I'll be making a video for that for you guys very shortly. Super excited to open that one. But yeah, import your stuff, guys. There's tons of great stuff out there, not just available in the US. The Girl on the Bridge is getting a release from Kino Lorber. Not a lot of stuff coming. Usually Kino Lorber is pretty solid every single week, but they're pretty light this week. But they do have a Kino Classics release coming out, which is great. I love their Kino Classics line. I need to get into more of that. I think that's where the Nosferatu release is that someone else brought up earlier. That is also through the Kino Classics line. But here you go, a 1999 film called The Girl on the Bridge. Interesting. This is a romance comedy drama. So kind of a rom-com, but it looks a little bit more like heavy on the drama side, but it takes place in Paris. Interesting. I'm always excited about things that take place in Paris, but it doesn't look like it's a French film. Maybe it is. Maybe it is a French film. It doesn't say anything about language, but yeah, Girl on the Bridge. Kino Lorber, one of the great things about Kino Lorber, not only their breadth of titles that they put in their collection and the wide range of things they put out, but also their prices are awesome. It's only $30, and right now on Amazon, $22.50. So that's just coming out, and it's already $22.50. Unlike Criterion, you don't have to wait till 2 times a year to pick up things for good prices. Criterion or Kino always puts out stuff with great prices, so gotta love them for that. Underground Aces, also coming out from Criterion this week, a 1981 comedy. There's the slipcover on that one. This is a straight-up Kino Lorber release, not Kino Lorber Classics. And look at that. That's very 80s. Is it 80s? Yes, 1981. And the synopsis just says, the escapades of a crew of zany parking lot attendants. That's all it took. That's really all it took back in the day to make a comedy. You just needed one line, like an outline of a story, and then boom, you can make a comedy. There it is. Nowadays, comedies are insane. This is something I was talking about with Grace lately. Like, we can't just have a normal, and I'm sure this happened in the old days too, but I feel like every comedy that I go to these days, the first 2 acts are like, this is good. I like this. And then all of a sudden the third act, it just completely jumps the shark and gets super over the top and loses me and gets too insane. Like, I didn't watch that one recently that came out, that like rom-com that was trying to bring back rom-coms with the blonde actress that everyone's talking about, Sydney, Sophie, whatever her name is. Yeah, my wife saw that one, and she said it was the same way. Like, in the third act, it just gets so bonkers that it kind of lost her as well. What's the last time we had a really good comedy was like, was that Nanjiani version? What was that called? It's in the yellow section. I see it in my mind. The Big Sick. Yeah, right there. The Big Sick was great. That didn't get crazy. That was just a nice little comedy. Why can't we do that? Let's see what else is coming out. We've got The Strangers getting a Walmart exclusive steelbook. This is crazy to me how low. This is a new release, and it's so low down on the list. This is a Walmart exclusive steelbook for this movie, and it's way down at the bottom of the list, and it looks cool. It's a really cool Steelbook. I guess the movie just is not good. That's what I'm hearing. I, of course, haven't seen it, but there you go. It's a Steelbook, and it also has like a fold-out slipcover that goes over it. So if you like that movie, you're pretty much guaranteed to get your hands on it because not a lot of people are excited about it, but it looks like a really cool release. Sorry the movie wasn't better, though. And then what else do we have here? We've also got a Blu-ray edition of The Strangers. They went all out. They put out every version, and the versions look nice, but I don't know. It's not. And maybe this is just skewed by Blu-ray.com, but it looks like it's way down on the list as far as popularity goes. And then a couple other things getting releases here. Ezra from 2024 getting a release from Decal Releasing. We've also got Back to Black, which is another 2024 movie that I came and went. Music biopic that I heard nothing about, but it is getting a Blu-ray and digital combo pack from Universal Studios. And that's the cover on that one. There you go. And then one more here. This looks like a lot of TV stuff, but there are a couple things here. Trying to dig through. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Someone mentioned it. Here it is. Nosferatu / Terror of Dracula. Getting a Blu-ray, 2 movies on Blu-ray from... Whoa. What the heck is this from? This looks... This looks terrible. Is this the actual cover art, or is this like a temporary... This is insane. I guess because it's in public domain, you can kind of do whatever you want. But look at this artwork. It looks just like cut out low-res JPEGs slapped on top of each other. And there's a Blu-ray disc logo that doesn't even... They didn't even cut out the background. It's not even a PNG. Wow, this must be a tiny little like mom pop website that's putting out a version of this. But yeah, they don't even... Guys, just throw it in Photoshop and just knock out the background. It's not that hard. realclassicdvd.com. And the dot is a broken disc. That is some early 2000s, late 90s looking design right there. Maybe that's the stylistic choice. I don't know. But whoever was asking about Nosferatu earlier, here you go. It's getting a release. If you can find it, maybe go to realclassicdvd.com and maybe check it out. There it is. It also includes another movie, Terror of Dracula. So there you go. A couple other things coming out this week. Tuxedo from 2002 is getting a Blu-ray release from Paramount Pictures. That may be a re-release. Not sure. But that's a Jackie Chan comedy action movie that I remember from when I was a kid, 2002. I would have been 10 at the time. And then one last one here from Paramount Pictures, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I believe that's a book. I think this is an adaptation of a book that I've heard of. Looks like a very low budget film. If it is based on a book, maybe that's a fun watch. It doesn't look like a fun watch. It looks like a war drama. Wrong words to say there, but maybe it's good. I haven't seen it, but there you go. We've made it through. We've already made it through everything this week. Like I said, kind of a light week, but lots of big stuff coming out this week. So let me know in the chat and in the comments afterwards what you guys are most excited about picking up this week. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm most excited about here in a minute, but let's get back to the chat. I've neglected the chat for too long. Let's see what people are saying over there. Happy Optimist. Love that Letterboxd shirt. Thank you. Grace got me this as a Christmas gift, and I like it a lot. Patrick Craig. Oh, nice. Interested in seeing what you got from Radiance. They've put out a bunch of great films so far. Stay tuned. I'll get that video up as soon as I can. I got to focus on Criterion stuff first. Like I said, I got to edit that video that Grace and I shot over the weekend. But then I will shoot a little unboxing talking about what I picked up and why I picked them up and why I'm so excited about them. Dan's Den, The Girl on the Bridge, I watched for a podcast years ago. It's very stylish. Ooh. What do you mean by stylish? Because I love visually distinct films. So let me know. Give me a little more information on that. You might be able to sell me on that one. Jason Morbies. Interesting that The Ruins is getting a re-release. I have the same unrated Blu-ray from a while ago. Yeah, it's always hard to distinguish like what is a new release and what is just a re-release there at the bottom. There's always a ton of stuff down there at the bottom, and I don't want to like bore people by going over stuff that's already been out and it's just kind of a re-release for distributors. But I try to look through those and see if I can find anything for you guys. Evil Wax, the problem with importing movies is that they aren't region-free. Usually the 4K discs play fine, but the disc with the features on it is usually on a Blu-ray that's not region-free. Yes, that of course is a problem. I found a way around that by getting the 4K Blu-ray player that I have, but I don't think it's crazy expensive to get because I've also thought about getting just a standard Blu-ray region B player or region free player, and I don't think they're that expensive because you don't need a 4K. I just got one that has all the capabilities in one, but it's nice. It would be nice up here, maybe just to have a Blu-ray in my office so I can watch some supplements while I'm working or something. So I've considered getting just a standard Blu-ray region B player or region free player, and I don't think it's too expensive. I think it's worth it. I think for all the movies you can get, I think it'd definitely be worth it to invest in one of those. Patrick Craig, Back to Black is supposed to be horrible. The director doesn't have a good track record either. Thank you, Patrick Craig, for always having some of that insight for us. Josh Knoll, The Ruins is great. Several times I had to look away from the screen because because it got really icky. The first sentence there doesn't seem to go with the second part of your sentence, but I guess you like that. Film Kid, welcome to the stream. I don't recognize that name right away. Hey, I went to Barnes & Noble today and picked up The Thin Red Line and Raging Bull. I wanted to get Yee Yee, but they didn't have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe, I hope you have another store in your area that you can find Yee Yee. They also will order stuff for you. If you want to just go to the counter, ask them to order it, and they'll call you when it's in. And I've done that before. I did that last sale. It's very nice. Griff says Nosferatu looks like a mole man. He does look weird, especially on the posters, like the original posters for Nosferatu. But I love his look. He looks so cool. I don't know if I'm excited about the new one. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be what I want. Internet user says the Nosferatu cover looks like a bootleg. It absolutely does. I think it is, basically, because I don't know if it counts as a bootleg if it's a public domain property. I guess anyone can just make it. Kevin House, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is devastating. Whoa, thanks for the heads up on that one. Baloney, horror movie idea. A maniac has a show on YouTube about movies. He takes recommendations from his chat room and recreates murders from those movies. There you go. They kind of did that a little bit with the new Batman movie with Riddler. But obviously that would be a little bit different. Nerdy with Autism, what is your favorite movie in your black collection? Oh, that's impossible. There's so many. Most of them are black. Man. Tar is one of my favorite movies. King Kong is in the black section, the original 1933 King Kong, which I love. Hugo's back there in the black section. Dune is back there. Man, there's so many things back there. The original 1939 version of Hunchback of Notre Dame is back there. That's an impossible question. There's so many things back there in the black section. All three Alfred Hitchcock's Presents are back there. You got Lord of the Rings. Probably I have to go with Fellowship of the Ring, because that's back there in the black section as well. Santa Sangre is back there. 1917 is one of my favorite movies. I'll go with this one because I just watched it recently. If you watch my last Criterion Hall video, we watched a movie at the end of it, and we went downstairs and watched Cinema Paradiso, or Cinema Paradiso, if you want that pronunciation. There you go. Wonderful 4K presentation from Aero Academy, back when they were still separating things out. Love this release. We watched the theatrical version. I would love to watch the extended version. There's a director's cut. The theatrical is PG. The director's cut is R. So I would love to know what they added back in. Don't spoil anything for me in the chat, but it's crazy that they jumped up 2 ratings. This is a wonderful Italian film that people have been recommending to me forever, and I'm glad I finally got to watch that very recently, and I'd love to rewatch it again. I might rewatch it soon because Grace didn't get a chance to watch it with me, and I think she would love that as well. So, incredible child actor in that movie. He was killing it. Eva Wax says, I pre-ordered Risky Business, and it's set to arrive this Wednesday. Oh, sweet. Well, there you go. You don't even have to go to your store. It's coming straight to you. Dan's Den, it's in black and white. The main character is a knife thrower. It's an unusual romance spiced up by some solid direction. So he's talking about that movie that we were talking about earlier, like on the bridge, or it happened on the bridge. Interesting. So I love it when they shoot black and white movie, or they shoot films later in black and white for no reason. I actually just picked one up. I picked up, this is going to be a spoiler for my upcoming video, but I just picked up Rumblefish, which is an 80s movie that they decided to shoot in black and white. Another 80s movie they decided to shoot in black and white that's also in the collection is Wings of Desire, which is a wonderful movie. Highly recommend that one. Wim Wenders. Speaking of, we can't get away from Wim Wenders this evening, but that's cool. I love when it's a stylistic choice and not necessarily an obligation. Film Kid, should I watch all that jazz? And what is it rated R for? I don't know if you should watch All That Jazz. I don't know anything about you. I would highly recommend it. It's a great movie, but it is a pretty hard R. I mean, it's about a guy who is at the end of his career, and he's kind of looking back on his life, and he's not fulfilled, and he's got all these kind of drugs and alcohol problems, and there is some, strong, I wouldn't say strong sexual scenes, but there is some nudity. If that's going to bother you, maybe not. Most of it takes, I think pretty much all of it takes place like in a dancing number, so it's not like super sexual, but there is some of those themes in there. It is definitely an R-rated movie. I don't think it's rated R like incorrectly. I think it should be, but it is an adult film, and I loved it. I think it's excellent. One of the best musicals I've ever seen. If you don't usually like musicals, maybe check it out, because it's a very character-driven, character study musical, which you don't see very often. It's very focused on this guy's life, and music is such a part of his life and integral to his legacy that the music just makes sense. It's just natural, and it doesn't feel weird when people are going into song numbers, because it just fits. It just works. So I hear from a lot of people that don't like musicals that one works really well for them. So if that intrigues you at all, highly recommend All That Jazz. We just watched it this year for the first time, and it's great. He also did Cabaret, and he also did Sweet Charity, which I just picked up from Indicator. Speaking of Indicator, lovely limited edition release from them. I got to find a chance to watch that soon. I'm a little musicaled out because we watched so many in May, but whenever I get back to that, I'm sure it'll be great. Internet user, I watched Longlegs in the theater last night and quite enjoyed it. Are you? Interesting. I've not seen that, but I've heard about it. There's a lot of people watching it right now. It's popular on the Letterboxd homepage because a lot of people are watching it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A Bit Rusty, another new name I don't recognize. Love the look of your shelves, but how do you keep track of which movie is where? It's all up here, my friend. It's all in there. Just photographic memory, I guess, or visual memory. Just color memory. That's what I'll call it. Patrick Craig, anyone get any Eclipse sets this sale? I got the Kariyoshi Kurihara set. I was tempted to get some Eclipse sets. I kind of want the Czech New Wave Eclipse set, and there's another one that I've been wanting, but I did not grab any. I may, though. I still may. I still have time, but I've already spent a lot of money this month. There's another one that I want to pick up that is a Japanese director, and he puts out a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, no, I haven't picked up any yet, but I'd like to. Henry Bidenkamp, Nosferatu is actually the King Rat, which is why he looks that way. He's the King Rat. Wow, interesting. I guess I don't know my Nosferatu history. Michael Smith, random suggestion. If you like sad French films, get Forbidden Games. Criterion has it on DVD, but there is a Blu-ray too. Interesting. I do like French films. I don't know if I specify sad French films. What is Forbidden Games? You got me interested now. 1952, René Coleman. Oh, yes. I think I have this, actually. I think I picked this up from one of the collections that I bought out. No, maybe not. I've seen it, though. And I've heard that exact. I've heard it's about childhood, which always appeals to me, and I'm considering getting it just based on that. But I've also heard that it's very, very sad and kind of gut-wrenching. But I do want to watch it still. That's not a deterrent for me. I'm very excited about checking that one out. But it is out of print right now. If you look at my screen, I'm looking at Criterion's website. DVD is the only version, and it's out of print. So I see that one pop up quite a bit. I have the out of print tag saved on my eBay, and every time someone posts that movie, it pops up on my search feed. So yeah, I'll have to get that one eventually. Probably once I buy it, then they'll release a Blu-ray or a 4K immediately afterwards, because that's what always happens. Film Kid, have you seen Whiplash? If not, I would strongly recommend it. It's my favorite film of all time. Wow, that's a big one. No, I haven't seen Whiplash. That was before I started getting back into watching new releases. There was a few years there in college where I just wasn't keeping up, and then I met my wife Grace, and she was big into watching the Oscar movies every year. So we do that every year now, make it a tradition, but that was before that happened. So no, I haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard great things about it. Griff, do you have Basil Durden's London Underground Eclipse set? I think it is OOP now, but it is fantastic. I don't. I have Jean Gremillon's London box set, but I don't have, or British box set, but I don't have I don't think so. I'm not sure. I may back there. There's a couple of clip sets I got to, like, I didn't buy that I just got into my collection. And that might be one of them. It seems familiar, but I'm not sure. Oh, Evil Wax took advantage of the Prime Day sale, bought all 4K Ferris Bueller, Wizard of Oz, Lawrence of Arabia, Steelbook, Pulp Fiction, Willy Wonka, Chocolate Factory, Big Lebowski, and The Maltese Falcon. That's a ton of great movies. I did not take advantage of the Prime Day sales this year. I wish I had. I really wanted to get that Lawrence of Arabia because it's awesome that it came back in print, because that was out of print forever, and it was going for like $80, $90 on eBay, and I did not want to pay that much. So I should go ahead and buy that. But no, I didn't buy anything yet. I was focusing so much on Criterion this month, I didn't want to spend any more, but I got to do it. I got to see if it's still on sale. Baloney, let's keep these boutique labels going by buying 2 or 3 each year at the regular price. It's a great way to show them your support. Absolutely. And buy from their website, too. Don't always buy from Amazon. Film Kit, I'm watching Raging Bull right now, and that is one that was shot later, and it was in black and white. Exactly what I'm talking about. Turn me off if you're watching Raging Bull right now. Don't have my annoying voice talking in the background. Your Name Here, All That Jazz is one of the greatest films of all time. It's great. It's really, really good. I would have recommended it like more, but that person was kind of on the fence about the rating, so I wanted to go ahead and give some heads up there about why it was rated R. Film Kid, the only reason why I was asking was because I'm of younger age, and therefore I'm not allowed to watch anything. Oh, here he is. I get to watch a good amount, and I'm very grateful for that, but I was curious. Yeah, no worries. I mean, if you need to wait a few years before All That Jazz, I don't think you need to see it right now. I think it actually works better if you're a little bit older because of the subject matter and the themes. So yeah, hold off on that one if you want. Maybe watch some other movies and check it out later. Nothing wrong with that. Josh Knoll, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Sweet Charity, one of my all-time favorite musicals. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I picked up that set from Indica. I was already kind of curious about it because it was one of those limited editions that they do, and I always piques my interest. But after I saw 2 films from that director, I was like, I gotta get Sweet Charity. As soon as I found out it was from him, and he's only done like a handful of movies, like 5 or 6. Most of them are musicals, and they're all musicals that like don't scream musical. They're all like solid movies first, musicals second. And I loved them, so I can't wait to watch that one. Can't wait to. Patrick Craig, DJ, a lot of those films from the Czech New Wave art have Blu-rays from second run. Okay. Thank you for confirming that, because I had a suspicion that might be true because they have a lot of crossover with Criterion, and they put out so many Czech films. So I may have to just, given the choice, I would rather go with second run because they put out great releases over the DVDs from Criterion or Eclipse. So thank you for that. That's actually really cool. I have to look at that. It's time I do another second run haul. I've only done one from them, and I need to check out some more. They have a lot of great stuff. Man, I'm just enjoying talking. I'm not even keeping track of time. Okay, we're still under an hour. Okay, we'll talk a little bit longer. You guys are great. Love talking to you guys on these Monday nights. Thanks for all the contributions. We got a lot of people talking tonight. Evil Wax, we talked about surreal psychedelic movies in one of the previous live streams, and I think that maybe Jean Cocteau's Orpheus might fit the bill. That has been on my radar pretty much ever since I saw Beauty and the Beast. I was like, man, I got to see more stuff from this guy. And there's a trilogy box set of those films from Criterion, I believe. And I still haven't watched them. I need to. I think it's only DVD, if I'm not mistaken. Orpheus. Yeah, it's in this. Well, actually, Orpheus has a Blu-ray, but I think there is a DVD trilogy box set with Orpheus and Testament of Orpheus and The Blood of a Poet. I should share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So Blood of a Poet is in the Orphic Trilogy. I hate when they do this, so the Orphic Trilogy is only available on DVD, but it's out of print. It's a box set with the 3 DVDs in it. But then they only released Orpheus on Blu-ray. Just do all 3. What are you doing? So here we go. We've got Orpheus has a Blu-ray. So maybe just check that one out. I'd like to see the whole trilogy, though. I think it's kind of a pseudo-trilogy anyway. I don't think they're necessarily like sequels to each other, but maybe they are. But I've been interested in that in a while. Like I said, since I saw Beauty and the Beast, fell in love with that movie, fell in love with his style. He's talk about stylistic movies. I got to get back to that. You guys are reminding me of things that I haven't got around to yet. I've been trying to watch more Criterions lately. Like I said earlier, beginning of the year, I took some time off from Criterion and was looking at some other labels. But this month, I've been really getting excited about Criterion again because I've been picking up so much stuff in the sale. I've been watching a lot of stuff lately. We just watched, Grace and I, Days of Heaven, which is an incredible movie. So happy I picked that one up. Watched that one immediately. Then we also watched Lonesome, which is a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen this one, this is a very early silent film. It's almost completely silent. It kind of exists in that weird transition period between silent and sound cinema. It's 1928. So it's pretty much structured like a silent film, made like a silent film, but then there was some studio mandated like dialogue scenes where they forced in sounds so the studio could like promote it, which is unfortunate because those scenes are really awkward and clearly not directed by the same guy, and it's awkward. So I would love to see the original version before those were added in, but it's great. It's a wonderful movie, and it's a summer movie if you're looking for something that takes place in summer. Surprisingly still relevant to today. It's about two single folks that are very, very lonely, have no friends, and they're living in this busy New York City that's all about hustle. And it's kind of got some pseudo-documentary style filmmaking where they're just like going through their day at work, but then they get the holiday off because it's July 4th, and they go to Coney Island, and they meet, and they start a little bit of a romance. Great movie. Highly recommend that one. And very short, only 69 minutes. If you want a summer movie in the collection this month, pick that one up. Another beach summer movie that I watched, very different though, is Lord of the Flies. I actually don't know if this takes place in summer or not, but I watched this the same night as that. And this is the earliest Criterion I ever bought. I found this before I even knew what Criterion was, but I loved the book and I wanted to get this adaptation. And I found it at a half-price books. This is spy number 43. And I finally watched it, and it's great. I don't get why the ratings are so low on Letterboxd for that. I also watched Baron Munchausen from Terry Gilliam, which I liked a lot. I think people have asked me this before, like movies that you can't get into or directors you can't get into. I would put Terry Gilliam in that category. I have not been able to get into. I found his films impenetrable thus far. Every time I try to watch one of his movies, the tone of it just kind of turns me off and I can't get into them. But this one finally worked for me. I actually really like this. This is very classic. You can see the influence from Carol Zeman, and it's got kind of a more, there's still got some of that, tone, some of that comedy that doesn't work. I think Robin Williams, is going to be blasphemy to say, but I think Robin Williams almost ruined this for me. Luckily, he only has one scene, but he just comes flying in and is like really obnoxious character, and he's just doing his Robin Williams thing, and it really took me out. I did not like his performance in this, but overall, it really worked for me, and I'd like to get that one another watch. Anyway, enough about what I've been watching lately. I want to do more recommendation videos or talk about what I've been watching, what I've been buying lately, but I've been so focused on the haul videos this month. I will get back to that soon, though, in the next couple weeks here. Joshua LeBure, welcome to the stream. For second run, I really suggest the Hungarian Masters box set. I loved all three films. I'm way ahead of you, man. I already have that box set, and I've already watched all three films, and they are great. I like the first two better than the third one. The third one was a little kind of hard for me to get into, but the first two are excellent, and I watched all three of those back last year earlier this year in preparation for Satan Tango, and really appreciated and loved going through that box set. That's a great box set. I second your recommendation of it. Bailey Walsh, Cocteau's Orphic Trilogy is great. I do love Orpheus, but Blood of a Poet is my favorite. Love Cocteau style. Me too. It's perfect. Griff, do you have House from Criterion? I do. I do have House. I've watched that the last couple years for Halloween. Probably invite some friends over and watch that again this year. It's great. Wonderful movie. Bailey Walsh, that trilogy isn't connected as far as I can remember. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was just kind of like a thematic trilogy and not so much an actual trilogy. Your name here, Albert Brooks movies on Criterion are worth it, especially real life. Thanks for the Rex. Ethan Edwards, love Lonesome, reminds me of Speedy. Yeah, it does feel very similar to Speedy, and kind of like that Sunrise, that whole era right before that came out. It's a little lighter than Sunrise, obviously, but it's great. I really enjoyed it. And there's great essay. I've been trying to read all the essays, or read all the booklets as I go through these, and for some reason, Lonesome and Lord of the Flies both have really thick, like 30-page booklets. This one has 2 full essays in here, and it has an interview with the director about the film. Great. I love those. I love when they do that. Kind of disappointing when you just get like a 3-page fold-out, but when they do like a solid, like a really good booklet like that, that's when you're getting your money's worth. Evil Wax 73, I just watched Days of Heaven 2, heard great things about the 4K transfer, so I had to double dip. I'm so glad I held out and didn't pick up the Blu-ray because that 4K looked crisp. crispy 4K restoration on that one. Dan's Den, that sadly happens so much in film production. People often think their audiences need to have everything explained to them. Unfortunately. Unfortunate. Brazil is a satirical masterpiece, Evil Wax 73. Yeah, I'd love to give a second watch to Brazil because that was one of them that I couldn't quite get into for some reason. May have just been the night I watched it. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're just not in the right mood, and you got to give it a second chance. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is the best starting point for Gilliam. See, I don't know if I could do that. I think that would be a bad starting place for me. I don't know if I can get into that comedy. Luke S.E., it'd be interesting to see if you like Monty Python films, DJ. It was a comedy group in Britain in the 70s. They released 2 films, Life of Brian and the Holy Grail. Gilliam was their animator and actor. Yeah, I'm familiar with those. I feel like I've waited too long. I should have watched those when I was younger. That kind of loud, obnoxious comedy doesn't usually work with me. I actually started Life of Brian, I think it was back around Easter time, and I was interested, and one of my friends is a huge Gilliam fan. He's been on the channel before, Evan, and I popped in Life of Brian because it was on Netflix for some reason, and I got about 5 minutes in, and that annoying guy who's playing Mary, who's just like screeching at the top of his lungs, I was like, I gotta turn this off. I couldn't get into it. But I like the premise, and I liked some of the jokes, but it was just grating on me, so I need to go into that one again, prepared next time. Brian Hassel, I agree with you on Gilliam's impenetrability, although The Man Who Killed Don Quixote was actually pretty fun. I've heard great things about that one from Evan, my friend I just mentioned. He says that one's great. And I do have 12 Monkeys back here in the red section, and I do want to watch that one because I hear that's a little bit different from the rest of his stuff. Dan's Den, Fisher King is basically Gilliam restrained, and one of my favorites of his. Another one that's in the Criterion Collection. It's got a 4K release that I need to go ahead and watch. That's one I'm interested in. And I think Robin Williams, like you said, is much more restrained in that one. So I am interested in that one as well. Ethan Edwards' House is one of those films I can't decide if I hate or love. Definitely one of the strangest films I've ever seen. It's not as much fun to watch alone, but if you have a group of friends, particularly a group of friends who haven't watched it yet, that's one of the most fun experiences you can ever have because you know what's coming and they have no idea. I showed it to I showed it to a lot of like Grace and I keep mentioning Evan, the guy I just mentioned, and his wife, who's Grace's friend. Showed all 3 of them for the first time last year, and they had no idea what was happening, and it was amazing. I recommend that experience. Watch it with people that have not seen it because it's great. Internet user, what are some non-horror films that still have the same vibes as horror? This is an excellent question, and I should definitely do a video about this year because this is me. This is what I want. I'm not a huge horror fan. I like horror. I'm not a huge, I've talked about this a billion times. I'm not a big, serial killer, that kind of gory kind of movie fan. Just that, where it's just about the kills. That doesn't interest me. But I love the vibes. I was a Scooby-Doo kid growing up. I love that. I love horror atmosphere movies. So I definitely should put together a video about those kind of movies because I found out I've been finding more and more people have been recommending stuff. Some recommendations tonight. I think House is a great example. If we're staying just in the Criterion Collection, Carnival of Souls, somebody just mentioned. There's a ton of stuff. I should make a note of that and make a video around September or October on that because that's something that I love, and I'm sure other people would find some value in that as well. Your name here, Time Bandits is great. Time Bandits I did like, and I need to rewatch Time Bandits. That's one that worked for me. I didn't love it, but I think maybe on a second viewing I'd like it even more. Brent, hey DJ, do you own any other Bela Tarr films other than Satan Tango and Workmeister Harmonies? I want Damnation next. No, I don't. And I don't even know if there are any that are readily available in the US. I would love for them to put out more of his stuff. Those are the only 2 I own right now, though. But yeah, let me know if there's any good boutique releases of some of his other stuff. Josh the Beer, I will never be able to enjoy Gilliam. I've tried many times. Yeah, so that's kind of me. I don't hate the experience. They're solid. But yeah, it doesn't. There's so many people that love his stuff, and it never quite gets there for me. Although I would say Baron Munchausen was kind of the closest I've got. Evil Wax, I think you either love or hate Gilliam. I love pretty much everything he's done. Yeah, I don't hate him. I just don't love him. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of lukewarm. Luke SC, I'd do Life of Brian before Holy Grail, in my opinion. Patrick Craig, The Fisher King is one that you have a better chance of liking, in my opinion. Thanks, guys, for all the recommendations and for being so nice. I feel like, especially in the Criterion Collection, if you mention a director that you don't like, everyone starts attacking you and throwing tomatoes at you. So I really appreciate you guys being so accommodating. I'm sure I just sometimes you don't like a director for a while, and then that one movie clicks, and then you go back to his other ones, and you kind of see similar stuff, and it works. So I'm hoping I have that eventually with him, maybe after watching Baron Munchausen. Luke S.E. Gilliam has a relatively new film out with Adam Driver, too. Yep, we just talked about this one, Man Who Killed Don Quixote. That one looked interesting, and it's really cool that he's done a good film, because I know he was kind of going downhill for a long time. Like, his Brothers Grimm movie is, I think, terrible. But I'm sure there's probably people who love that one too. But I really didn't like his Brothers Grimm movie. And then he did, I think, around the same time, he did The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which wasn't really his fault. That movie kind of fell apart because they lost their lead actress, or lead actor. But yeah, those are weird movies. And they kind of don't even feel like his kind of movies. But it's cool that because Don Quixote is like 2011, 2014. It's pretty recent. So it's cool that he went out on a high note. Film Kid, do you like Zodiac? I do like Zodiac. If you're talking about the Fincher film, I liked it quite a bit. I actually did a commentary on YouTube on that with a friend of mine on his channel. Great movie. I like that quite a bit. I need to watch more Fincher. We just almost bought a Fincher movie in the collection. The Game? Is it called The Game? Let me know if The Game is good. Grace was tempted to pick it up over the weekend. We didn't get it, but maybe we can go back. Joshua Andrews just picked up the imprint box set for Martin Scorsese Films on Faith. Loved Silence, maybe my favorite Scorsese. Thought Last Temptation was really good. Hopefully we'll watch Kundun soon. Hilarious that you bring that, not hilarious. Funny that you bring that up, because I may have also just picked up that box set, and it may be in the mail on the way to me right now, and I may be doing a video on that soon. I also really, really like Last Temptation of Christ and have not seen Silence yet. If you know anything about me, you probably have recommended Silence to me. Like everyone on the channel, all my friends have recommended Silence to me. Andrew Garfield's one of my favorite actors, and I haven't seen Silence for whatever reason. I just haven't got around to it. It's been on my watch list forever, and I'm so excited that we have a nice boutique release of it now in a box set from Imprint. So I bought my first Imprint film. I was kind of keeping this under my hats, but you brought it up, so I had to go ahead and mention it. Whenever that comes in the mail, I'm going to open that up and do an unboxing for that, because that box set looks amazing. I've never got an imprint release before. I had to go ahead and drop it because it looked so cool. And I'm excited about Kundun too, because I haven't seen that one either. So looking forward to that box set coming in the mail. My friend John actually knows the guy who did a commentary on that release. He was asking me the other day if I knew him, because he was Instagram friends with him. I'm like, I don't know him. He must be someone that you know from TCM back in the day. But yeah, looking forward to it. What really pushed me over the edge for that box set was there was a bunch of new special features, because I already have the Last Temptation Criterion release, but Imprint put out a bunch of new special features, so I got to buy it. Evil Wax. I heard The Vanishing is a really creepy non-horror movie. Yes, The Vanishing. I need to get around to that one as well. But I think that's the one kind of about claustrophobia, which I kind of have, so that one might mess me up. Kevin House DJ, have you seen Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo? It's really good, but very creepy film with a great dramatic performance by Williams. No, I haven't. Sounds good. Posty, non-horror that feels like horror, Angel Heart. It's a great Southern Gothic neo-noir from the 80s. I have the cool Korean Blu-ray. Interesting. Southern Gothic movie that I watched last year was Eve's Bayou. That also kind of fits into an October theme, even though it's not horror. And it's not like, it's not technically, I guess, but there's like some bad juju stuff and some New Orleans like Creole witchcraft kind of stuff that kind of fits in. It's a summer movie, actually. I think I would recommend it more as a summer movie, but if you want to watch it around October, I think it works there too. Internet user, maybe some Haneke films are similar to that. Michael Smith, a horror-adjacent film to watch is The Vanishing. Again, shows how a normal person can do evil. Let's see. Evil Wax. Time Bandits scared the crap out of me when I was a kid, so I've never returned to it. I think I was too young when I saw it. Yeah, there's a whole like genre of films from that era. What's that other one? Is it Tempest? There's another like Shakespeare adaptation from like the exact same period that starts out the exact same way, where it's Titus. I can't remember exactly what Shakespeare play it is, but it stars Anthony Hopkins, and it was on the Criterion channel for a little bit, and I'm sad that I missed it. But yeah, it starts the exact same way. It's like a kid like in his room, like eating cereal or something. Then he gets sucked into this other world and you jump back in time. It's very weird. There was a certain point in time where we were doing that a ton, where we felt like it's kind of the Princess Bride thing. Like we couldn't just start a movie. We felt like we needed to have a cool, hip 12-year-old in modern times before we could jump into the movie. Internet user, truth be told, my favorite Gilliam film is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah, I think that's a different one as well. That doesn't really feel like the rest of his stuff. Internet user, I really like the game. Check it out. Okay, that's one endorsement for the game. Ethan Edwards, your wife really likes serial killers, right? Well, she doesn't really like serial killers. She really likes learning about serial killers and analyzing serial killers and learning about, she listens to a ton of true crime podcasts and stuff like that. So she loves that kind of stuff. Me, not so much. Patrick Craig, the game is a blast, a lot of fun. Don't look up anything about it. Go in as blind as possible. I always try to do that, but I will make a special effort to try to do that with that one. Thanks for the heads up. Brent, not sure if it was mentioned yet, but Lost in La Mancha is a hilarious documentary about Gilliam's attempt to make Don Quixote. Interesting. Patrick Craig, Silence is Scorsese's most beautifully shot film for sure. That excites me. I'm excited about that. Man, we have just been talking nonstop. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. Let's do about 10 minutes and call it a day. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for all the recommendations and all of the conversations tonight. I'm having a good time. Luke S.E. says Silence is based off a well-regarded novel. Maybe you might want to read it first if you like to do that. I don't like to do that. I like to do it the other way. I like to watch first, and then if I like the movie, then I like to go to the book second so that I can then I have more to chew on. Like, I like the movie. I want more. I go to the book. I don't like going to the book first because then the movies are usually disappointing. Internet user, isn't Scorsese going to do another film about Jesus? Yes, he is. He's doing like a Life of Jesus movie based on another book and starring Andrew Garfield, which is really cool. I think that might have something to do with why they're putting out this box set, because he's going back and doing another faith film. I'm excited about that. That sounds great. I can't wait. Eva Wax, there has been a lot of chatter on the web about the Criterion 4K transfer of Fear and Loathing being inferior to the Arrow release. I watched the Criterion and thought it looked amazing. Sometimes you got to have a real keen eye, but there's people out there way more qualified than me that can catch those things. So yeah, I take their word for it. But if you didn't notice anything wrong with it, no worries. Like, it doesn't matter. Dan's Den says Titus, directed by Julie Taymor. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. Titus. I think I said it. I just didn't say it confidently. Jeffrey Patron watched my first cinematograph release 2 days ago, the 4K of Last Embrace. Sweet. I saw that you actually saw your Letterboxd that you had watched that. I wasn't sure if you bought the cinematograph release or if you had just watched it streaming. Fascinating to see Demi do various Hitchcock flares. Groovy neo-noir type erotic thriller. I'm really excited about that one. I've been behind on the cinematograph releases. I haven't watched the last two. Hopefully I can get caught up on those soon because I was really enjoying the first two. That one looks, I've heard that one, I think there's like a dip. Some people said like 3 and 4 weren't that great, but that one's supposed to be really good. So I got to get back on track with those. I actually put them in my cart today. Vinegar Syndrome is like on it with their marketing emails. Like I put those two releases, the new cinematograph releases, in my cart for like 5 seconds, and then I close my phone, and I immediately get a text from them and an email like, hey, you forgot something in your cart. Pick it up. Come back. They're on it. They're got a really good marketing team. But I need to do that. It's gonna be a lot of money though, because those are about $35, $40 each. Joshua Andrews, yeah, the game is really fun. Definitely recommend it. There's a super deluxe Arrow box set release of it. Interesting. You know me well, Josh. I like me some big box sets. I might have to do that. I'm tempted to get The Last Emperor 4K from Arrow instead of Criterion because it's got so much extras and supplements on it. Numerical Code is a name I don't recognize. Welcome to the stream. Always great to have some new guys here. Maybe you've been here a while. Maybe this is your first time commenting. Can't agree on Brothers Grimm. Every Lena Headey film is worth watching. It's a fun watch. It's crazy. It scared maybe I just watched it too early because it scared the horse scene. Oh man, the horse scene. I feel like it's like almost house level. It's crazy with that spider horse. Hopefully you guys have seen it and you know what I'm talking about. Luna P, you thinking about doing an Altman August? That's a pretty good idea. I've been picking up some Altman films lately. We just got McCabe and Mrs. Miller from Criterion. There's a couple Radiance titles that they put out recently from Altman that I'm interested in. They've at least got 2, so that's a good idea. Altman August. I don't know if that'd be enough. Does he have enough films that I could do a whole month about it? I don't know. Interesting. Posty, there's a Japanese adaptation of Silence from the 70s that does not have a Blu-ray. I'm waiting until that finally gets one. Sounds like a Radiance thing, and then I want to do a double feature. Interesting. I had no idea that happened, but if that's based on a book as well, then that makes sense. Let's see. Brent, I like to read the book and then watch the movie simultaneously. Whoa. Simultaneously, like literally. What do you mean by that? You gotta give me, like, you'd like to read a chapter, watch it, read it, watch it, or you just like to have it in front of you while you're watching it? I've done that before. I've done that with Christmas Carol, which is one of my favorite just stories in general. And there's so many adaptations of it. I've done that around Christmas time before. I've had it in my hand and I'm like watching a movie and like I like to see, because sometimes they'll do like straight line for line. Like the Jim Carrey version, which everyone hates because of the animation style. And a lot of people don't like that one, but that one's pretty accurate. Like they use most of the lines straight off the page. They just add in a bunch of like, whoa, like crazy 3D action scenes that are kind of dumb. But other than that, it's pretty good. I didn't have a problem with that one. Baloney, what is the longest film you've watched in one sitting? Satan Tango, or Szatan Tango, which is a Hungarian film by Béla Tarr, which we've talked about earlier in the stream. That movie is 7 hours and 20 minutes, 7.5 hours. And we watched it all in one sitting in a theater, the Plaza Theater, which is here in Atlanta. And I made a video about it, so check it out. I think the video is called, I sat 8 hours in the theater to watch this movie because there was 2 intermissions. But yeah, it was great. I highly recommend it. That's definitely the longest. Joshua Andrews' Touch was really disappointing. I love Paul Schrader, but it is a total dud. Oh man, don't tell me that, because I've already bought that one and I was excited about that one. That's unfortunate. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, I'm just getting to the part where I had to run out. No worries, guys. And I'll cut that part out of the stream after the fact. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Here we go. Ethan Edwards. Altman was very prolific, definitely a month's worth. Okay. But would I have enough, like, physically to watch it? That's the thing. Has all of his stuff been released? Evil Wax 73. How does McCabe and Mrs. Miller look on Criterion 4K? I don't know. Because we haven't watched it yet. But I will let you know as soon as I see it. Like I said, I want to start doing more of those recommendation videos after I watch stuff. Try to get a little bit more involved. Dan's Den, Altman made 35 features, so yes, you can do a whole lot of them. Dan's Den, I'm pretty sure I watched a 4-hour movie in a row, but I can't remember what it was. And Internet User, California Split is an Altman film. I wish someone would just put it out. Yeah, he seems to be pretty well spread throughout all the boutique labels, though. It seems like a lot of his stuff gets around. The rights to his stuff gets around, so that's pretty cool. And then also Bailey Walsh says Altman has a lot of films. I wish A Wedding had a boutique release. Yeah, like I said, he's getting all over the place. I think there's Criterion has his stuff. Radiance has his stuff. I think Arrow has some of his stuff. So maybe I won't do like an official Altman August, but maybe I'll try to watch through all the Altman films that I have. I still haven't been able to find a copy of Three Women. All of those got bought up in the stores as soon as Shelley Duvall passed away, unfortunately. So I haven't been able to find one. Hopefully we can find one before the month is over. But that is all for this evening. We've been talking for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for getting me through the stream and for all of your insightful comments and questions and feedback and reviews and everything you guys do in the comments. I really, really appreciate that. Always have a great time with these streams. Thank you so much, especially to the regulars who pop in like every week and always leave comments. That means the world to me. And I have a blast talking to you guys. We will be back next week to talk about more releases, and next week is a heavy, heavy week. Last week of the month, July 30th, and there is tons of stuff coming out next week, so we're going to have to talk quickly. Oh, Election's getting a 4K from Paramount. That's interesting. So yeah, lots of stuff on there. Do your homework. Check out blu-ray.com so you can come and talk about those with me next week. Like I said, lots more videos coming out this week. I'm going to try to get that Criterion haul edited and up. I'm also going to try to shoot another one the last week here. We're down to the wire before the sale ends. So hope you guys find what you're looking for, and I hope you get it for a good price. And until next time, you keep collecting, and I'll be back with another video real soon.